Hello, everybody. Welcome to Not Daily Dose of Gaming News and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of updates and such usually go about on Twitter X. And today we will get later on another episode of Midnight Suns. Um, just to recap, one episode per day except for Sunday, so 6 episodes per week. It's what I can do at this moment for the time being, so we'll keep it that way. If something changes regarding the scheduling, I will let you know. But basically, that's it. And if you are interested, there are some already completed gameplay series, both in 4K and 1080p, being that the 1080p are the older ones. So let's go to news. Got more rumors. RDNA 4. Supposedly, they are going to mirror the RDNA in terms of product positioning and naming. So probably you're going to get up to 8700 class kind of a thing there. This is coming from, again, more rumors. Take it with a huge grain of salt. They go about explaining what they did and RDNA 1 and all that jazz and the cheap stuff there. We only had starting from RDNA class card series, whatever you want to call it, starting on the 20, RDNA 2. Uh, then we start getting some 800 class and 900 class cards, and again RDNA 3, which is the 7900 XTX GPU that I currently own. This is the one. Yeah, it's been a while since 2022, 24. I bought it this last year, so it's been a year since I got this thing here. Okay, it's been a while since new GPU launches. That's interesting. I Time passes by very quickly. But yeah, probably again it will not make any difference. Again, everything comes to independent of the naming scheme. Same thing like the RTX 4080 12 gigabyte shenanigans that they were trying to pull out of the ass, Nvidia with the 40 the Jesus, the RTX 4000 series, the shenanigans they were trying to pull out that way. Again, it doesn't matter. The naming scheme, it always going to be kind of people trying to get a real sense of the specifications, the performance, and the price to that product, independently of basically the naming scheme that AMD will try to adopt. Same thing with every kind of product that there is out there. It really doesn't matter. It's good to serve as a reference point for previous generations of their products, but again, it will not be something again that's going to be hugely important. But at least it's something, another rumor here regarding RDNA 4. Everybody is trying to see how this will perform, again, especially with this monolithic die they are going for in this RDNA 4, and what the potentialities can be for RDNA 5. But yeah, that's the main thing at this moment in time, given the information that we have. In terms of gaming, we got Remedy announced they are going to partner with Annapurna Interactive for Control 2. Uh, and again, some intermedia kind of a things there, some films and TV shows are also planned. Again, Alan Wake 2, it was published by Epic Game Store. It's still exclusive there, from what I understand. Given that never found it on Steam, even though Control 1 and Alan Wake, I think Alan Wake, the normal version, or can be found on Steam. I usually mention Control a game there on a deal. Yeah, I think they are not satisfied because, for all intents and purposes, we covered this a few weeks or months ago that Alan Wake 2 production costs are still not covered, even though, again, I don't know how people spend, I don't know, 100 plus million dollars on developing a game, and they're going to launch on, in this case for PC, on Epic Game Store exclusively, with the exclusive deal there, without launching on Steam. I really don't understand that. But again, it probably was one part of the deal there in terms of the publishing and funding of the project there. Um, but yeah, I think they are trying to get independent in that way. So trying to, as much as they can, to self-publish games. This is, of course, Remedy. Annapurna usually has good track overall, as a good track regarding being the gaming or the movie series part. They're being having a good track on publishing stuff, especially on the gaming stuff. We got Stray, got other games. From the top of my head, I can't remember all of them, but you got at least Stray, which is the Meow Meow game there, and Cocoon also was published from Annapurna Interactive. Again, I think what they're trying to do here is to at least Remedy is trying to partnership with Annapurna in the sense of at least given that they are going to be co-financing the developer cost of Control 2, but the IP will remain on the hands of Remedy. So it's going to be we split the bill 50-50, then we split the profit 50-50. And I will assume this will not be stifled by exclusive launch there, because Annapurna just publish the games wherever they want. So I'll assume Control 2 will come to Steam or any other platforms in terms of PC. So I think it's not going to be exclusive to one kind of a store there. Also, I think I'm not sure. I will assume so, because I will assume that at least Alan Wake 2 is pending on exclusivity. Again, if Control 2 is going to be a break hit, I'm not sure if Remedy will try to do something similar, like with From Software did with them Bandai Namco, which bought the IP rights from Elden Ring. I don't know if something similar will be happening with Remedy and Epic Game Store. Maybe if I don't know if they have like a breaking hit or something like that, or if they have enough money to buy the IP back in terms of publishing rights. Probably they will try to go about and do the break the exclusive deal there, because even though all the shenanigans that the DEI stuff there, I'm still intrigued to a certain extent with the story, mainly with the story, and at least a little bit the gameplay there with Alan Wake 2, because I really enjoyed the first Alan Wake in terms of the horror themes they were going for there, and how the mechanics work in terms of the lore itself. Even though they got a little bit there on the DIY checklist. Unreal Engine 5 also has some shenanigans happening there with their own documentation there. I don't know if anything have to do with that also, in terms of the fact that Unreal Engine belongs to Epic Game Store or Epic. I don't know if they have some forcing regarding that, regarding the Alan Wake, because again, the other games, Max Payne, other IPs, Max Payne, Control, and Alan Wake 1, they don't have any kind of that weird influences there. Max Payne is a heavy themed game, at least a franchise there. But yeah, will hopefully they will can course correct on that front and bring. Again, I still have to play Control. I don't know when, but I will. I have already bought Control, and I want to. If not going to do a series, I want to play out, because it seems very interesting how it might interconnect with Alan Wake games. But yeah, again, I talk about the self-publishing mainly because what Annapurna, president of Interactive New Media, said. By backing Remedy's move towards self-publishing, we are putting our faith in their vision. Again, that's why I think they are trying to get rid of the controlling arm of Epic Games, because again, it's not productive. It's not productive in terms of at least money-wise to just stay on, especially in the PC environment, to stay stuck on Epic Game Store as an exclusive deal doesn't make any sense, because the market share, it's not there to have some kind of I don't know advantage or advantage on being stuck with just one game front there. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, and the things with the TV series, games, films, all that jazz, trying to get a unified vision. Again, if Remedy has a better control of what they can do with their own IPs, I think it might lend itself to this kind of experimentation, going a little bit better than we already have in certain fields and in certain IPs that try to do that. But yeah, hopefully everything goes well. They course correct whatever they need to course correct to put themselves in focus on what the good parts of their own IPs are, and we can see at least some flourishing on their how they called it, um, the Remedy Connected Universe, something like that. I think that's how they call it there. But yeah, hopefully everything goes well. But again, we'll have to see how this partnership will go forward. Uh, I got a little bit more in terms of Phantom Blade Zero, some previews that happened on Gamescom. Again, this is from WCCF Tech. They went to the Gamescom, and the overall view of this preview is kind of in line with, I think it was yesterday that I bought Facts for Life video regarding the preview that they had with Phantom Blade Zero, and basically it's in line with the same kind of vision, the same kind of opinion, so it's not too divergent. So it seems to people seem to have the same kind of experience. um, but of course this is a demo, it's not representative of the entire game, of course. But yeah, very interesting. It's a little bit like the combo stuff. It focused to the combat focus a lot on the breaking the guard and enemies defense there. It's kind of a dance there from what I understand. You do your own stuff, try to break at a combo, like do a critical hit or something like that, and then the enemy recoups their stance and attacks you, and then you have that defense part of your, which is trying to parry, block, or something like that, dodge. And it seems that everything is very well fine-tuned, at least for the demo. Again, sidestepping, regular block that becomes a parry if the button is tapped as the enemy attack is about to connect with your player. Again, all of that stuff there contributes to the flow of the combat there. And it's not very difficult in the sense that very methodical like Dark Souls. It's more fast-paced, more action-oriented, which is good as a variation. But yeah, you got these little sprinkles of uh, I don't know, of skill checks to a certain degree for you to do the combat. It's not just mash butting. You have to have some skill to do this and be paying attention to what the enemy is doing. Even though, from what I understand, the parry the parry timings and all that jazz are relatively well. They can be a little bit more forgiving that usually Dark Souls games are, which is always good to at least to alleviate a little bit the frustration that might happen in these kind of games there. But yeah, it's in line with the Facts Life kind of experience that they have, which is a good sign, which is a consistent experience throughout a lot of players that go test these demos. If we have a very consistent experience throughout all the testers, is always a good sign that the game is it's going in a direction and there is no like trying to bash the game itself. So I think this is a good thing to see. We got also a little bit of a feedback regarding Monster Hunter Wilds producer and game director, taking into account the experience that they had throughout Gamescom and all the queuing, and they were very excited that they drum up a lot of curiosity for people to try out the game, and they will take all the feedback that they got from Gamescom, being from the influencers or the content creators that usually are more experienced or supposedly are more experienced on Monster Hunter franchise, and also the players that were on the booths that they give their own opinions and feedback to the team there that was representing there on Gamescom. They will take all that vision that they gathered from everybody and their feedback, and they will improve the game and take advantage of the final stretch of development. Again, there is no definitive launch date for Monster Hunter Wilds, but it's going to be next year. So they have at least, I don't know, let's say 6 months to take that feedback and implement that feedback on the game itself, being, I don't know, some tweaks here and there, better fluidity on certain aspects of the game. Again, I'm not sure because I didn't play the game and I'm not knowledgeable on Monster Hunter. even though I was always aware of this franchise, I never took a deep dive in testing one of those games. And I think Monster Hunter Wilds might be my entry point on the franchise, if everything goes well. And I think that is why I'm covering this game a little bit more frequent that I would have if I was not trying to or expect to drop in this game for the franchise itself there. But yeah, good news again. From what I understand, the game director and everybody like upper management that was on Gamescom, they were very happy that people were giving feedback and they really wanted this feedback so they can have like a real people's real gamers feedback, so they don't have their own echo chamber or thinking no, this is what the player wants. No, they test it out in the wild. That's why these shows are pretty good, to test out and see real people or potential customers or the fans of the series, to at least give them their feedback and some tweaks that might go into this game in particular. I think this is pretty good, and hopefully it will be at what we all want as a desired quality level of the game. Again, this game seems pretty good. I think the Resident Evil engine or the RE engine is a pretty good one that can be upgraded throughout time, and I think if it sustains very well in terms of performance, again, taking aside Dragon's Dogma 2, I think it kind of the design quality of the game itself tends to not be performing that well in high occupied areas because of the routine AIs of the NPCs there. This is going to be a very good test on like bigger world, even though I don't think it's going to be open world, a single open world. I think it's going to be big areas, but at least it's going to be a good test because we have all these animals here that they have all their own stuff to do and the environment stuff. I think it's going to be a good test for the engine itself to see how it fares on this game here. Continuing with some news here, we got again Clair Obscur Expedition 43. Again, I watched Rurikan's breakdown, let's say, of the trailer, and again, I need to refer this again. This game has the potential of being, I don't know, a breakout hit next year. If it from the what we have here so far is a good, a realistic slice of what the game is aiming for. Again, I'm pretty excited, even though I have to temper my expectations here because, again, the combat seems very interesting. I always like turn-based combat, very similar to older. The comparison I can make is Final Fantasy X. The style of combat, the way you approach enemies in the wild, how the combat fares, you select abilities and such there. Then you got the quick time events that you can go about to try and do a perfect hit if you time the pressing of the button when you are attacking, and when the enemy is attacking, you can tie and parry, guard, and dodge, I think. And supposedly, even the developer said that it's possible for you to go throughout the entire game without getting hit a single time if you can manage by a miracle to dodge or parry everything. I think it's possible for you not take a single hit point of damage if you manage to get everything right, which is very interesting that there is that possibility there. But yeah, the combat seems pretty good. The visuals and the art design seems very good. This is Unreal Engine 5 game, so it's going to be tending to be a very pretty game if they really want to. The only concern here, of course, is going to be performance in terms of because of the engine itself. Hopefully, they can manage to streamline everything and polish everything to be very well, so you don't have any kind of shenanigans and stuttering in terms of performance on lower end machines. But yeah, seems very promising. Even the setup of the game, yeah, seems really interesting, and the fact that they are trying to do some experimentation with turn-based combat. it seems, at least from what I've been seeing, I really hope this at least at least from what I've been seeing here from this gameplay, again, we will need more gameplay, especially on exploration side, even though there's going to be some rewards for exploring stuff there. But we need more gameplay from this game here, so we can have a even better sense. But from this snippet of 6 minutes, I think this is might be a breakout hit next year. At least that's my perception. That's why I'm again today doing for you to check out this gameplay here. Then we got a whimper to a certain extent, which is the Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Again, before the game is already launched, they already, again, with these shenanigans with roadmap announcements, seasons, and I went to the Steam page. Now there is a lot of editions and the such. Again, this game is not. I don't know. I have to wait for reviews to have a better opinion here. But again, the game itself doesn't seem to be like super well. I don't know, polished in the sense that it seems this year's game in terms of visual for what you're trying to achieve here. But yeah, again, already with seasons until June 2025, so a year's worth of roadmap. Again, I don't like this because it tends to squeeze out. That's why I didn't bought Forza Horizon 5, because they have a lot of editions there. It's a lot of money to spend in just one game. I usually don't like this. I like to buy an experience. You might get one or two DLCs here and there, but that's it. That's why I don't buy a lot of racing games. Because when you start with this roadmap stuff here, it's not looking good already before launch. It's the same thing that they are doing with other games, like Ubisoft does, EA stuff also does this kind of shenanigans. I don't like this. But yeah, hopefully at least the game, if it is an excellent game that might justify extra investment after the base game, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it doesn't look good. I don't like this. But yeah, basically in terms of news is what I got for today. Just going for some gaming deals. Callisto Protocol is ended. Now we got, I think the only one worth mentioning here is the Fallout collection. So the original Fallout, Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics. So none of the 3D Fallouts are here on this collection. It's are for free. If you want to have a nostalgia trip, you might want to try out these games here. On Steam, we got Hogwarts Legacy, 70% off. Now it's, I think the last time it was on sale was 60, but now it's 70. And then we got the Digital Deluxe Edition, which I think it's got that PS PlayStation exclusive stuff. If not mistaken, I think they're, if not, it's not included here. I think they are going to include in a base game with an update. I'm not sure. I don't remember how it fares there. But yeah, it's way cheaper than the last time it was on sale. That's my point there. We got also Red Dead Redemption 2, 60% off or 65% off on the Ultimate edition. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure what this brings for extra, but it's for sale. We got the Outer Worlds again. I think the Spacer's Choice Edition upgrade, it got some mixed reviews. I'm not sure if they managed to get around and fix the performance there, because the enhanced graphics version of this game, which is the Spacer's Choice Edition, seems to be struggling a little bit on the performance side of things. But yeah, it's 50% off on the base game and 60 on the other bundles there. We got also Crypt Custodian. This is a recent game. It got very positive reviews. It's kind of Metroidvania kind of a style game. Seems interesting. And again, 50% off. It's a relatively cheap game, and the fact that it has some very positive reviews, I will leave it here. We got also Pacific Drive. It's still on sale, 40% off on the base game. And we got some bundles here with Dredge or The Long Dark if you want to try it out and see for yourself. But yeah, interesting game. It's one of those that I really, really want to try out. Then you got also Wartales, kind of Jagged Alliance, kind of a game there, 45% off, and you got also other editions here. The Mercenaries one seems to be the super duper one, but yeah. And lastly, we got Planet of Lana, 45% off, very cheap, and seems very, very, very good. On GOG, we got Plague Tale Innocence, 80% off, and then Plague Tale Requiem, 60% off. We got Alien Isolation, the collection, 80% off. It's basically the same price if you buy the standard edition. They managed to tweak around and make it the same price. So might as well go for the collection here. You got some extra DLC with some extra game modes, which seems pretty interesting on this game. We got also then Inside, which is 75% off, and a Limbo, which is also 75% off. But yeah, basically this is it for today. I was just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. As usual, this extra support is for me to focus on having a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course, some more extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, hope you have a wonderful day. Now we'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.